Hello, myself Sunil R Nair, and here basically we are talking about the earthquake topics. And in this, basically, we are discussing that how basically one software company project manager basically can handle this all things basically. That if he got the contract, software company owner basically, and he basically hires the one project manager. So how basically project manager handles one city data basically. If he got the contract that basically you got the 30 lakh crore dollar, 30 lakh rupees, 30 lakh crore rupees basically, that this is the amount in which basically you have to run the city. Then basically these all are things basically we have discussed. Ninth point basically was the each and every utilities. Basically in utilities we saw that how basically one electric vehicle in Vadodara city, basically I have taken example of 400 to 500 basically electric city basically are there, and they are basically collecting up to what level data basically, and 100% it is created by one of the software company. So that means the software company wants some data from the environment. And now basically the 10th point is current basically which oxygen power supply basically city is passing. That is very basically we have already discussed this basically. That is basically the power supply basically which each and every city basically is getting. How basically that is got, that we have discussed long before basically. For I will take few example basically. For example, one government basically told that basically we want this type of power supply in city. So that is basically the oxygen supply basically. So they told that basically we want this type of data in the city. That is basically they sends in the form of the power supply basically. So whatever basically for example they basically given the entire information that this city basically contains 1 lakh building, it contains 10 lakh trees, it contains 45 lakh people, it contains 5 lakes, it contains 2-3 rivers, it contains this many temples, it contains this many mosques, it contains this many Parsi Agyaris, it contains this many church. It's like this basically each and every basically temple information, each and every basically god information also basically they are given. Then they have given the each and every road information. This many road exist, this many pool exist. Pool means that pool is not swimming pool. Swimming pool is also basically there. This many pools basically where basically the vehicles basically travels, that pool exists. This many railway station basically are. Railway station mostly one city basically only one railway station have. That is basically the rule basically. That basically few basically cities are there basically where many railway station are there basically, like Mumbai city is there. That's basically a metropolitan city, and there basically local train basically travels. That facility is given. That's why basically they are having multiple stations basically. So that is different scene basically. Why they have created that basically, there might be some reason basically. There might be some reason that why basically they have created, because it might be some traffic related issue basically. Reason is the population, more than 5 crore is the population. That might be the mostly reason basically. So that is basically another thing basically. So like this basically the each and every city basically contains this whole thing basically. Then basically how many human souls basically one city currently is active, because it might possible that some power company basically might have passed the human souls long before, and that might be doing some process basically. So you have to track that also basically. You can't do something basically. So that basically mostly basically gets overrated with the new data. So that basically each and every information. So government basically have to this information, have to give this information also, and government basically connected. This information mostly government don't give basically, because this information big level nuclear companies only have basically. So that's why basically this type of information is government don't have only basically. This type of information government basically don't have only basically. So that is basically one of the issue basically also you can say basically. That means a few people says that government don't understand this. That might be that basically it's government insult basically you can say. That means that might be some government insult basically. So that is basically different scene basically. So for that basically government might have basically prepared something basically. Sorry basically like this basically we will collect the source information also here basically. Like this basically you can't insult. So like this basically they might be doing some process, basically they might have created a few groups also basically. So that is basically different issue. Then basically the city basically contains how many vehicles, how many laptops, how many computers, how many institute, how many training institute, how many colleges, how many schools, how many mountains, how many jungles, how many things, basically each and everything, basically the information they give to the power company, and that is the basically you can say nuclear power company. So like this basically each and every information basically is given, each and every information basically are given to the power company, and this directly connects to the World Bank basically, because World Bank basically must have the update of that basically, that how many things basically are currently basically existing. Reason basically they are not god like, right, basically without data basically you can't do anything, na? So they also should get the data basically, mostly they gets the data through the energy company, but then also physical verification is also must basically. So that's why they keeps that this data also basically. So this basically information basically the World Health Organization also required, and which is basically directly connected with the World Bank basically. So this all basically data are required. So these all are basically the information of the currently oxygen power supply of the cities based. Like this according to they do the process, and lots of things basically happen. This already we have actually discussed long before. Now basically the 11th point is basically where is the movement of the earth planet and in which direction the city basically. This is actually very dangerous basically. For example, I am in Vadodara city, right? So earth planet is moving, assume that some side basically, assume that left side of my basically, just taking as an example. In really basically earth planet is not moving left side of my, assume basically that it's moving in left side of my, and earth planet is moving left side of my. So like this basically the movement of earth is like this, right? In real basically it can be any side basically it will move. That is the confidential information that basically can't be shared to anyone basically. Even the software company basically, few lots of software company also basically might not be knowing this, that where the basically earth planet might be moving. But mostly big software company basically they have to keep the information, because they have to track lots of things. So basically they 100% knows basically that where the earth planet is currently moving. So like this, assume that earth planet is moving left side, and Vadodara city is basically in the direction of downside basically. So earth planet basically is moving left side, and when the earth planet is moving to left side, so like this basically the Vadodara city is displaying in the universe or basically in the sky downside basically. So like this basically the Vadodara city gets the data basically according to that direction basically, and that direction basically the satellite groups only basically keeps. So satellite groups only basically gives the information to each and every city basically, and here basically we have taken the data of Vadodara city. So like this basically the movement of earth planet basically and the speed, everything basically is controlled by the satellites only basically. There is no option basically other than the earth planet is moving at this speed also basically, that is also controlled by satellite here. You basically you don't have any control basically of the earth planet. Just basically you can do that if the total number of objects basically you can have the control. Rest of thing basically you can't control. You don't have the control of for example, if you want to change the grass of color green to brown, that also you can't do basically. Reason is connected with the universe basically directly. If by chance you have the brown also basically, but without if the universe group give the permission, then only basically it can be brown. Otherwise basically it will not get brown. It will not get brown. So like this basically things are basically there. So like this this is also basically about the where basically the earth planet is currently moving, and in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about the 12th topic, that is the where how many currencies are basically working in the city basically. For example, I will take Vadodara city. So how many are there? So in next video basically we are going to see that.